Welcome, seekers of sense in a loud and restless age, welcome to Whispers of Turkish Stars. Tonight, I invite you to lower the volume of everything around you and listen for the quietest note in the room. We live in a world that confuses display with devotion, applause with affection, and yet, when one of Turkey's most luminous figures chooses to mute the noise, everything becomes clearer. Our focus is on Hazal Subaşı, Erkan Meriç, and a sentence left suspended on New Year's Eve that spoke louder than 1,000 proclamations. This is a narrative about boundaries, maturity, and a new beginning written in silence. If you believe that the truest stories are often whispered, not shouted, touch that like, subscribe to walk the subtler path with us, and if you wish to sustain a space that reads between the lines, the join button awaits. Ready to uncover the meaning tucked inside three small dots? Let's begin. While the last seconds of the year vanished beneath fireworks and choreographed toasts, while timelines quivered with glitter and staged joy, one woman took the opposite road. No champagne glass selfie, no caption crafted for maximum engagement, no borrowed sparkle. Hazal Subaşı, a name echoed from Istanbul to every corner reached by Turkish drama, posted a single line that felt like the world drawing in one long breath. She wrote, "The only thing I want to change in 2026 is," and then she stopped. 3 dots. A pause. An open door left ajar. No explanation followed. Just a silence measured and deliberate, like someone removing a ring of keys from a rattling pocket so the heart can finally be heard. Theories burst like fireworks above the strait. The tabloids lunged at the gap, as they always do, seeking a crisis to feed on. Was it a barb aimed at someone in her inner circle? A goodbye encrypted for Erkan Meriç? A signal of a wound no one had noticed? The rush to find a fracture was instant. But here at Whispers of Turkish Stars, where we try to listen with patience instead of panic, we heard something else entirely. That caption did not move like someone stumbling in the dark. It had the tempo of resolve. It sounded like a decision worn in quietly, not a late-night impulse tossed into the world for comfort. Those close to Hazal describe a transformation that did not arrive overnight. They talk about a woman who stopped treating her days as currents that carry her and began to treat them as waters she chooses to swim. The thing she wants to change is not a person, and it is certainly not Erkan. It is the way she engages with everything that touches her life, the boundaries she draws, the tone she uses, the weight she gives to her own peace. Imagine keeping the same cast but changing the lighting, the soundtrack, and the lens. That is the shift happening here. Tighter sentences. Softer delivery with those who have earned proximity. And firm, unmistakable limits where confusion creeps in like fog. For years, audiences framed Hazal and Erkan in pictures that looked almost too glossy to be real. Faultless smiles at events, affectionate glances captured on cameras that never sleep, an aura that fueled the dreams of fans and the fantasies of gossip columns. But real life has its own music, and it is richer, messier, more human. Filming agendas that collide like cymbals in a crowded orchestra pit. Offers that pull them to different cities at exactly the wrong time. Moments of tenderness magnified by millions of eyes, and tiny misunderstandings inflated by third-party whispers. In this climate, a vote for change does not threaten a bond, it protects it. That unfinished sentence is not a warning sign, it is a blueprint for sustainability. What Hazal signaled with her trailing thought is a new model anchored in clarity. Fewer megaphones, more real conversations. Fewer performances for the crowd, more presence for each other. She and Erkan have weathered storms of speculation stirred by people who weren't in the room, who never heard the actual words, who turned a raised eyebrow into a thunderclap. This new year is not their season of goodbye. It is their season of fortification. They are digging a quiet moat around a shared home where they can hear each other without the roar of outside traffic. They are not abandoning the stage. They are building backstage, where the important lines are rehearsed without an audience. One of the most striking facets of this shift is the commitment to shrink the public footprint of private joys. Friends say Hazal has been repeating a simple line to herself: talk less, live more. In an economy where tenderness is mined for content and conflict is sold as currency, she is choosing to keep certain moments inside their natural temperature. She has told confidants that happiness does not need witnesses to exist, it only needs oxygen. This is not just a strategy to outmaneuver cameras. It is a kind of spiritual hygiene. She wants intimacy that is felt, not performed, a bond that breathes more freely because fewer eyes are pressing on it. With less outside static, she can hear her own inner voice, and more importantly, she can hear Erkan's, unwarped by interference. You cannot speak about this without noting the parallel language circulating around Erkan Meriç. He is praised for steadiness, for dignity on set, for the way he carries tension without spilling it onto others. Lately, he keeps orbiting one word, balance, dinga. The balance between ambition and rest. Between public kindness and private sanctuary. Between being available to those who need him and being accountable to his own center. That both partners arrived at similar conclusions as the calendar turned is not coincidence. It suggests a relationship that has graduated from breathless infatuation to thoughtful alliance. At a quiet New Year's dinner with a handful of friends, Erkan is said to have offered a line that now reads like their compass: "We don't want to change our lives, we want to simplify them." That single sentence explains the map pinned to their wall. Fewer messages typed in a hurry, more small check-ins done face-to-face when the day calms down. Fewer curated squares uploaded for applause, more laughter no one else gets to see. Fewer explanations for outsiders, more tender accountability to each other. They are circling what matters in ink and letting the rest fade at its own pace. Perhaps the bravest part of Hazal's recalibration is her decision to retire the need to please everyone. For a long time, a corner of the public projected onto her the role of perpetual harmony keeper, the woman who smiles through discomfort to keep the waters smooth. But growth often asks us to allow disappointment to exist outside of us so we do not swallow it whole. Those close to her say she is done crafting elaborate justifications for choices that protect her peace. This is not a purge. It is a reorganization. Picture a long table, the banquet of a busy life. Seats are being reassigned. Those who thrive on chaos are moved farther from the centerpiece. Those who show up gently, faithfully, respectfully, like Erkan, are invited to sit where the candles burn warmest. This is foundation work, not farewell music. That half sentence on the final night of the year was not the cry of a broken heart, it was an architectural drawing. Hazal is not satisfied to be a character written by others. She has picked up the pen and is tuning the chorus around her until the melody sounds right again. And in the soundproofing they are building together, woven from quiet mornings, declared boundaries, and a respect that does not need clapping. Love is given a real chance to last. There is a strain of romance that exists only beneath a spotlight, powered by flashes and the adrenaline of feedback. And then there is the other kind, the kind that survives the fluorescent light of studios at dawn, the late calls, the moments when phones are turned face down because the eyes across the table are more urgent than any notification. That second kind is the one beginning to define Hazal and Erkan's path. Their plan is not complicated. Keep what is essential, lay aside what drains the light, and let the chorus outside think whatever it will while the two of them do the work no one else can do for them. And I turn to you, our Whispers of Turkish Stars family. In a culture that nudges us to share every flicker of feeling, what do you make of this choice toward radical discretion? Do you prefer couples who broadcast their every beat, or does this sheltered mystery feel more powerful to you? And you? How would you complete that sentence for year 2026? The only thing I want to change is, leave your words below, let this space become a shared journal of intentions. A reminder, reading these nuances, tracing the silent lines between public and private, takes time and heart. If you value this perspective that digs deeper than surface gossip, consider tapping join. It tells us you want to keep this corner thoughtful. And do not forget the bell, because we will be following the quiet evolution of this new pack step by deliberate step. Some will shrug and say this is a phase, a seasonal vow destined to dissolve under the heat of the next rumor cycle. We disagree. Everything, from the careful shape of that caption to the harmony between their circles, whispers steadiness. This turn was not born of fear, it was born of clarity. And clarity is stubborn. It does not fight the noise. It simply refuses to feed it until truth has the space to grow. For those still hunting a farewell hidden in those three dots, we offer another reading. The sentence without an ending is not a cliff waiting for collapse, it is a horizon. It invites both of them and all of us to choose what will change and what will be protected. To draw lines where there were none and erase lines that never belonged. We have come to the end of this reflection. Hazal Subaşı began the year with a thought instead of a pose, a choice instead of a show. And beside her stands Erkan and Meriç, offering that quiet kind of partnership that says more in a shared look than 1,000 captions. If this story made you pause, pass it on to someone tired of noise. Subscribe to keep exploring the human heart through the lives of the stars we love. May your 2026 be filled with meaningful silences and love that needs no translation. From all of us here at Whispers of Turkish Stars, thank you for listening. Until next time, keep the volume low and the understanding high.